So we'll get warmed up, and then today we're just gonna do 3 exercises: a squat, chest press, and then a single leg squat. Just keeping it super simple. We want to have the weights as high as we can kind of have them, so that we're not going to be racing from exercise to exercise, but probably by the time you finish the squat, you're going to need like 90 seconds, 2 minutes to recover before we go to the chest press. And that the chest press, we're going to need, so we'll probably in the hour spend more time resting than we will pushing the weight. And then we know the weight is heavy enough for us. The weight's too light, we won't be in that overload zone that we need to be at, and we'll be able to spend more time moving than we will need resting. So you can kind of gauge your work today based on needing the rest. Okay, so to get us warmed up and primed for the squat, I'm going to mute you guys. Boop. There we go. Okay. To get us warmed up and primed for the squat, I want us to get into an athletic stance that has us feel like the skin of the heels is on the ground, but the bone of the heel isn't squishing the skin down into the floor. And then get a little more squatted even, and we want to feel like there's load happening across the middle of the foot. So just in front of the ankle and across that part of the foot. If where our weight is too far back, we won't feel the pressure there, we'll feel the pressure in the heels. If the weight is too far forward, the toes will start to grip the floor. So we're in between the toes gripping and in between squishing the skin of the heel into the ground. Okay? Now, let's play with taking the feet a little wider than maybe we were. See how that feels there. And we're just going to kind of pulse here. I want you to think the 4 toes, yaw away from the big toe as we go down, and then we let go of that yaw to come up. And it's like we want to take our center of mass and kind of squish the foot into the floor. So it's not a bob of the knees, it's a bob of like that center of mass squishing the feet into the ground. Yaw the toes, yaw the toes, yaw the toes. Okay, let that go. Shake the legs out. We got some load in. You probably felt into lower calf stuff, Achilles stuff, possibly with that. This time, instead of the toes yawing, we're going to bounce again. But when we bounce, I want you to think heel and toes lift. And it's not a heel lift like a calf raise. It's a heel toe lift. So the flexors on the bottom of the foot kind of lengthen, making space so we move into that space. So again, we're in an athletic stance, weight over the midfoot, and it's like lift the toes, lift the heels. I'm hoping that gives you a sense of feeling like you've made space and you can move into that space with these little bounces, yeah? You can just give me a thumbs up or sideways or, yeah, awesome. Good, let that go, shake it out. Just going to stand, get into that athletic stance. And we're just going to take the arms, crisscross. You could tap shoulders back, sides with the hands. Then we're going to take the fingers and actually tap shoulders, chest, side ribs, back ribs, sternum. And just roll those shoulders out, nice and easy. And the other direction. Think about how wide those shoulder blades could get away from one another as the arms come forward. Good, okay. So we're gonna get our weights for our first squat. And I want you to find the depth of squat for you that you either use like the toe heel lift like we did in the warm up, or yawing the toes, that it feels like there's space for you to drop down and come up from, okay? So you don't have to go all the way to the ground. Some of us, that might be like a quarter squat, will be above 90. Some of us will be closer to 90. Some of us might go below 90, okay? It's not hard and fast. Each rep, feel for, have I made space to move into that space, okay? The yaw of the toes, or the lift of the toes and the lift of the heel, the pressing the flexors, if you will, into the floor. Think of, you do that as you drop, and then you do it again to come up. So it's not like you do it and hold it through the whole rep. It's set it, and then do it again. Okay? So you won't feel like you got muscular tension going all the way through. So with the weights you have, you could set up holding in front like so. You could set up, if you've got 2 dumbbells or 2 kettlebells, up in a front rack position, okay? And it's like, don't move down and up slow necessarily, but take the rest after each rep. We want to be sweating, heart rate elevated after we do our 6 or so, okay? Ready? Here we go. Okay. Whew. So we want to need that rest. So chest press is our next exercise, and we're going to do it on the ground. We've done this variation before where we're going to yaw the toes as we press the weight up. But again, it's not like yaw, 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 yaw. It's like yaw them as you press. So it's a set it, forget it. Okay, so let's come down to the ground. Feet are gonna be up. Just try a few where you can yaw off four toes, or maybe it's just a reach or a yaw of the pinky toe. Okay, so we're gonna yaw them every time we go to press it up. Once you've done your 6 to 8, oh, I've got a cat nail on my yoga mat. Somebody was kneading biscuits on it, I guess. Okay, last exercise we're going to come to is body weight or with load, and it's a single leg squat. Move this guy. The way we're going to do it, though, is we're going to consider that although one leg is taking the load that I'm moving on, both legs are participating. Okay, so if and you're going to find that on one leg, probably the down leg, that the up leg is going to like to swing and swing to help you move on that down leg. So it's not like the other leg's not allowed to do anything. That actually will piss off the leg we're working. So make sure you let the other leg participate the way that it wants to as you go down and as you come up. As you go down and as you come up. Okay? You could have load, maybe body weight is enough. If we're letting both legs participate, we shouldn't feel this like as a knee strainy kind of thing. So 5 to 8 on the one leg, and then you'll switch to the other leg. And take a break. Yeah. And so then I just took it out because it was around my knee. Try on the next set of squats, and when you're doing it, did you let your up leg swing? So it's fine on the one-sided ones. Yeah, I was letting it swing, but it had already been twinged from just doing the two-legged. Okay. So the two-legged ones, the other cue that can help make space is taking the tibia and letting it roll, or laterally pitching it. So, and it won't look like pressing the knees out, because now then I've done something with my femur. When my weight's over my legs, that lateral pitch or tibial roll just has the feeling of, oh, I made space. But you're not like seeing my knees go somewhere. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it feels better now. It's not doing it.
Great. So use that